Hi, today I'm going to review something a bit different. This game is Golden Sky Stories. Heartwarming role playing. Now, I usually prefer RPGs where you have to hack and slash something, to kill or shoot or toast by tossing a fireball hundreds of enemies and basically just beating the living daylights or completely annihilating that which stands on your way. But Golden Sky Stories is the complete opposite of that. Golden Sky Stories is a game about feelings, about encounters, about what being human is all about. Well, let me show you a bit of the quality of the PDF. The PDF is excellent to navigate because it's fairly short, just 146 pages with a virtual table of contents. It doesn't have hyperlinks, but you really have no trouble navigating because it's very well structured. You have some very anime-like illustrations throughout the entire book. They look all warm and fuzzy and cuddly. It's kind of like those anime where there's no violence or very little violence, and it's mostly about you could call it a slice of life where characters are just dealing with everyday lives problems and situations that you would consider ordinary or maybe mundane. Now, the cool part of this, the special part of this role-playing game is that you play as a sort of magical animals called Henge. Now, Henge are basically animals with a unique power to transform into humans or humanoid form, and to use some very subtle magical effects or magical powers. Well, let me talk to you about the structure of the book. The book is divided in 4 seasons. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Each season talks about a specific aspect of the or section of the game. For example, well, first of all, they start giving you a forward notes about the designers and the translators' thoughts, the challenges they face when designing this game and creating, translating the game, and what they expected to accomplish through it, and it's very interesting because you feel a bit part of the design process and the translating process. Well, for the first chapter is or section is spring. Spring tells you all about Golden Sky Stories and about the Henge. As I told you, Henge are magical animals, very much like fairies here in Western folklore. But they are decorated in the trappings of what Japanese people consider to be magical traits, traits such as or powers as related to manipulating the weather in a very subtle way, or maybe creating different illusions and looking to a person's heart, communicating with people. Also performing some momentary transformations or changing shape, so to interact with humans. And that's the type of abilities the Henge use when interacting with humans in this game. They give you a sample story so that you can see what this game is all about. It's basically a short story about a kid who feels inadequate because he likes a girl, but that girl is growing up faster than he is, and so people tease him about it, and he gets annoyed and runs off into the forest, and he takes it all on the girl he likes. So he bumps into a couple of Henge, and these magical animals decide to patch things up between the boy and the girl, and teach them that their relationship is too precious, so that they shouldn't let people annoy them or bullying them, so they can continue this sort of friendship that may eventually become maybe romance. And they also give you a sort of a little story talking about one of the signature characters called Rico. And Rico, through Rico's adventures, you start learning more about the game and the different situations that may arise. In the summer section of the book, it's all about how to create a Henge, choosing a different animal. There are different animals to choose from. There are basically 6. There's the fox, the bird, the dog, the cat, the rabbit, and the raccoon dog. And they all have different powers and abilities. they also have a different, let's call it an emotional or psychological profile, so that the player can interpret or play as the animal in a specific mindset or way of acting. So, for example, maybe a dog is a very loyal creature, and it's all about friendship and loyalty, while a cat is seems a bit selfish, but it's also about independence and understanding things that others can't. And the fox is wise, but also like a bit etheric, sometimes out of reach of other people. And so the player, when he chooses he or she chooses a Henge, the player must think about how to portray the character, and the player must also take into consideration the types of powers that they can use. For example, the raccoon dog has many powers related to transforming into things. As you well know, in the Super Mario Brothers series, Mario sometimes puts on a tanuki suit, and that's basically it, transforming maybe into statues and different things. And you can also take sort of like hindrances or character flaws for your characters, and for each hindrance that you take, you receive another special trait. For example, maybe your character is very distrustful of others, but at the same time, maybe that character holds a valuable secret about the town where they are living or adventuring. And some other character maybe is always hungry, but at the same time, because of that hunger, that character attracts the attention of others, or makes the others think that what a cute character that's always hungry. That character is so funny, and that character gains benefit because of that. And you also get a bit more about the type of magic that is being used in the game. As I told you, it's a very subtle magic. It's not very flashy. You're not going to see fireballs and time-changing spells. It's more of more about affecting the environment in a very subtle way, and in a way that just awakens gentle feelings between people and the Henge. And well, basically the system is a currency system. Each character has different traits and different points called dreams and feelings, and also variations of these points. And these points can be used to power up certain interactions. For example, if one of the Henge wants to convince a human that the human is making a mistake, that Henge could spend points on a particular ability or trait. So that Henge can beat or go above the specific target number, which is the statistic or trait of the other person, to convince that person of the mistake she is doing, or something related to that. And throughout the entire game, it's all about character interaction, about when to use a specific spell. For example, maybe a farmer is getting a fever or something, and the Henge can create some sort of nice weather environment to make him feel better. Or maybe they use some kind of power to get help from other people, and it's all about helping people in very subtle ways. And then we have the autumn chapter, and the autumn chapter, it's about how to become a narrator, because this game, as with many other RPGs, you have a game master or a narrator in this case, and he must create a story, and they tell you what types of story you have to create. Stories about solving problems, but not like save the world or stop this villain, more like very little and mundane problems, everyday life problems, where the Henge can assist humans and make their lives a little bit easier, or maybe be happier about living in general. And you have two sample stories that are very good to introduce players to this type of setting. And it tells you more about character relationships and interactions, because as Henge choose a particular or live in a particular town and interact with people, they start creating these sorts of bonds, and they become stronger. And the stronger the bonds between Henge and people, the more magic they will have available through dreams and feelings to empower different abilities. So they always have something under the sleeve to use in a particular situation. And because of that, it's also important to take in mind that to transform into humans, Henge must spend points and it's important they don't run out of points, because sometimes being a talking animal isn't going to be very helpful in some situations. Just imagine if you're walking down the street and suddenly an animal starts talking to you, you're going to think, oh my god, I'm crazy. So the Henge must transform into humans whenever possible, or whenever it fits the situation, because of course maybe they found a little child or something that is very wants to find talking animals, and if they appear as an animal that can talk, the child will be very happy and very pleased. So the Henge must try to think what particular form should be used at different situations. This is also affected by the time of day. If they do it maybe at dusk or at night, or when there's pure daylight, it may cost a bit less or a bit more. They must also take that into consideration. So in a sense, this is a very administrative sort of game, where you have to manage your resources, but at the same time it's not difficult, because it handles a sort of a reward system. For example, if the players see that one player character is doing something really neat or very cute or something that you really like, you give them dreams so they can use them to power their abilities and become stronger. But as I told you, it's a very subtle strength. It's not about I gotta defeat this monster or something. It's about, oh, I gotta do something to help that person. I'm going to use this ability, this magic ability or power, or maybe I'm just going to talk with that person and give her a little an opinion of what our situation is causing, or what everything is all about. It's basically about interaction and connecting with people. Then we have the winter chapter, and this is more like a gallery, an NPC gallery, where you find animals, people, local gods. They give you a sample town, Hitotsuna town, where characters can adventure and have different scenarios. And the gods are interesting, because in this game they are more powerful than the Henge, of course, but they may also require their help, or maybe they can offer some insight on different situations. And according to the particular situation, maybe Henge, the player characters don't need to play as Henge at all. Maybe they can just play as animals. You can even play as maybe a fish or a bird, and you don't get to talk or anything, but you're still there trying to help humans, or maybe mend or heal someone's heart through gentle motions. And this is a very how would you call it? It's really a heartwarming game, a very sensitive game, that it's certainly not for everyone, because it handles a lot of things related to feelings and all those things that could make us uncomfortable in different settings. Well, let me give you my opinion of the game. This is an excellent game. With the right crowd, you can really tell some incredible stories, and maybe a bit somewhat they look a bit too, how you call it, too sweet, or sometimes maybe too sissy, but at the same time you can create masterpieces worthy of, I don't know, one of the old Disney movies where everything happens in a very, I don't know, happy-go-lucky and everyday trouble sort of way. This is not a game about saving the universe or fighting off against a certain threat. The rules could be used for that. After examining the system a bit, you could basically carry out fights and battles and different things related to combat, but it's more of a game where about peace, about healing emotions, about understanding ourselves and others. And as I told you, with the right crowd, you're going to have a lot of heartwarming moments, and you're going to you're not going to feel like you're dead inside. You're going to feel that warmth inside your heart. I think they did a pretty good job with translation. Everything is very clear. So I highly recommend this game if you want a change of pace. If you're tired of shooting down spaceships and cutting down orcs and exorcising demons and ghosts, this is the game for you. Well, thank you for watching my review. If you have any comments or questions, please type them down and I will read them. See you later.